I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be projecting your dating fantasy. Well, I've got two different emails from two different viewers today that I'm going to go through with you. And what both of these guys are guilty of doing is the women that they're involved with really are not dating and relationship material. They're more suited for fuck buddy, sex playmate, friends with benefits, or an open relationship type of relationship. And we're all guilty of this because it's like most people don't like to be single, and most people who are in a relationship and then they become single again don't like the process or the time involved between where one relationship ends and they finally meet somebody who they really click with, and you can have a great relationship with going forward. So it's really tough, especially when you're learning this stuff, to remain objective, especially when you really like somebody, because what we all tend to do, men and women both, we're guilty of projecting our fantasy and our attraction and our ideal onto the person that we're with and completely ignoring that they don't live up to those unreasonable expectations. And then we get ourselves to the point where we're all completely head over heels in love with them, and then we realize that they don't match our expectations. We start trying to change them or force them to get them to be the way we want them to be. It's really essential and important that you read my book 10 to 15 times, because the strategies and the techniques and the human behavior that I teach in there will enable you to see people as they really are, so you can remain objective before you get goo goo gaga and gonzo over somebody and then get to the point where you're totally in love with someone who's just a fucking train wreck. So I've got a quote that I wrote in this particular topic, and then we're going to go through these emails. And the quote says, "All men and women have an ideal of what they think the perfect lover or person to have a great relationship with is like. As we date, we often will project this fantasy onto a person we just met, but yet do not know, because our feelings and emotions are so strong. Our fantasy can blind us to the reality of their true nature. In order to protect our hearts, we must always remain objective and see new lovers as they really are by focusing on what they do and not so much what they say. It is also essential to be a detective and listen to them as they describe their previous relationships and lovers for clues as to how they really operate in relationships. When you start dating someone and they never have any good or healthy previous dating or relationship experience, that should be a major red flag. In order to get what you want in your romantic life, you must be willing to walk away from lovers whose present reality does not match your fantasy or ideal. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for tremendous unnecessary heartbreak and suffering." So let's go through the first guy's email. He says, "Hey Coach, thanks for the time you spend to make it easier for us. I'm a 25-year-old male and I met a wonderful 23-year-old lady in a club. She was interested in me, we talked a bit, and I asked her for her number. She told me she has a boyfriend, but we can be friends on Facebook. I said okay." Come on, man. Never just say, "Hey, oh, well, you know what? If it doesn't work out, get in touch with me. I think you're great." I never texted her, and she did not text me. After 2 months, she invited me out for coffee, and I accepted. We spent 7 hours talking. It was very nice. I didn't text her again, and she invited me out. We went out together, and again, it was perfect. I did the same thing and maintained a low profile. I checked out her boyfriend and saw that he's a businessman about 50 years old who travels a lot. Ah, sounds like a sugar daddy. So she's basically using him to pay her bills and give her a nice lifestyle. She sounds like a great, swell girl. 2 days after we were out, she called me about midnight and invited me over for sex, but she told me it may be the last time that we do it. I refused because I want her as a girlfriend, as she is my type. Dude, I'm sorry to tell you, but you really don't know what your type is. You're just asking for trouble. Do you really want to get involved with a girl who's got a 50-year-old boyfriend? Maybe he's a nut job. Maybe he's a psycho. Maybe he's waiting in his car to see who she's hanging out with, and he confronts you when you go over there to have sex with her. Think about it. You got to think about these things. She's willing to cheat on her boyfriend. She's using him for money, and you want to have a relationship with her. Come on, dude. This girl has zero integrity. She's not relationship material. She's a great friends with benefits or fuck buddy. Invite her to your place and make dinner together. I wouldn't go to her, especially if her boyfriend is watching her. But then again, if you invite her over to your place, you run the risk that this guy may follow her there. I told this story before. My brother had a buddy of his that he used to valet park with when he was in college. And this particular guy was flirting with the hostess that worked at the restaurant where both of them did valet together. And then one night, he went back with her to her place, and her crazy stalkerish ex-boyfriend showed up and confronted the two of them as he was about to go in her place with her. Well, the guy pulled out a gun and fucking shot my brother's friend dead right there, right in front of her door. And then he looked at her and said, "See what you made me do?" And he took the gun, pointed at his head, and blew his brains out right in front of her. That's worst case scenario, dude. So when a woman tells you that she's got a boyfriend, the right and the proper thing to do would be to go, you know what, if that doesn't work out, get in touch with me. And if she gets in touch with you a month or two later, like she did, I would say, hey, I'd love to see you, but only as long as you're single. If she says, yeah, I'm totally done with this guy, then say, great, we can get together. If she says, no, well, I'm not sure if I want to stay, say, you know what, I'm not down with it. That's not cool. I'm not interested in being somebody's backup. When you're completely single, get in touch with me. These are major red flags, and I would not waste my time with this girl. I know you think she's wonderful and everything, but you're young and you don't have a lot of experience, so take it from me. I wouldn't get involved with somebody like this. It literally got my brother's buddy killed. You don't want to be somebody that everyone's reading about in the 6 o'clock news. 2 days later, after we were out, she called me about midnight and invited me for sex, but told me it may be the last time we do it. I refused because I want her as a girlfriend, as she is my type. She was very surprised. I told her when she decides to leave and we will talk. She started to text me every day. She's telling me she can't sleep and she's thinking about me, and I told her the same. She invited me out again, and this time I took her to a very romantic place. She asked me to kiss her, which I did, and we spent the evening kissing. She doesn't love this guy, but now her job depends on him because she works in his company. That's the main reason she isn't breaking up with him. What should I do? I wouldn't get involved with somebody like this. If you really want to keep her as a fuck buddy, like I said, invite her over, hang out, have fun, and hook up at your place. But like I said, dude, you're playing with fire. Should I ask her for dinner at my place and have sex with her, or should I maintain my low profile until she does something about the boyfriend? Well, the right thing to do, I mean, think about it. Fast forward 25, 27 years from now, when you're 50 years old and successful, would you, and say you're hooking up with a 23-year-old, would you want some horny 22, 25-year-old guy like you trying to rip off your girlfriend? Obviously not. You reap what you sow in life, dude. I personally wouldn't get involved with someone like this. My weak point is that I really want a relationship with her. Again, she's not relationship material, dude. And that's just the reality. But again, I wouldn't go out with her. I wouldn't date her. If she contact, I would let her do 100% of the calling, texting, and pursuing, invite her over to make dinner together or to have drinks together, hang out, have fun, and hook up at your place, but don't ever agree to take her out or do anything because you don't want to run into the boyfriend. I personally would steer clear because there's enough women out there. If you want to have a relationship, you need to find somebody who's single, available, and is not so fucking pathetically weak that they live a lie like this. So let's get into the second email. This guy says, hey coach, we were together for a year and lived at about an hour away. We talked every day for 1 to 2 hours and spent every weekend together. We both had plans for marriage. She was insecure and jealous, mainly over Instagram. She has abandonment issues from her father and has been in relationships where she was cheated on and physically abused. Her last boss physically and sexually abused her. Well, obviously she's got some issues, and she's probably going to be a little fucked up if she hasn't gotten any therapy for it. I was there for her in her darkest moments and supported her throughout the relationship. The last 2 weeks of the relationship was make up to break up, and I was the one trying to make it work by deleting my Instagram to salvage the relationship. She broke up with me on Halloween over the phone and said a lot of hurtful things, which was 2 days before our trip to Paris and Egypt. I sent her flowers the day of the trip. She dumps you, and you're sending her flowers? That looks really pathetically weak, dude. Come on, man. And I was hoping to get a response back from her, but because I didn't, I added my Instagram back before I boarded the plane. Then I got a text message from her saying, "You're dead to me and I hope you don't have a safe flight." That sounds like a real quality woman, dude. Oh yeah, let me call her. That's great. Yeah, let's get in touch again. I'm going to call you when I get back in town because I really miss you. I didn't reach out to her until I got back. Well, obviously you wanted another second helping of that abuse. And she wouldn't respond to my last text, email, or flowers. Dude, come on, man. You're showing no self-respect for yourself. I decided to go over to her house to talk, only to see another guy picking her up. Well, that didn't take long. I followed her to a house, got out of the car, and confronted her. The guy said to me, "Don't talk to my lady like that." Well, which pissed me off to the point where I called her a whore. She never said one word and wouldn't make eye contact with me. I left and held myself back from fighting the guy. Dude, I would never call or contact this woman again. Ever. Have some self-respect, dude. Grow a set of balls. The hardest part for me was how she broke up with me and how I had to go to a third world country by myself. I'm sure this guy was in the picture towards the end of the relationship. Yep. And that's why she doesn't warrant a second of your time. I still love her and I'm having a tough time dealing with this because I felt like she was the one. Dude, seriously, she ain't the one. She's a fuck buddy or a sex playmate. She's a liar, she's a cheater, she's devious, and she did you a favor. The good news is she's with some other guy, and so in the meantime, you should be dating other women and looking to replace her and get her the fuck out of your life as quick as possible. Does she feel any remorse or guilt? Nope, probably not. She didn't care. How do I get her back? Seriously, bro? After all that, is it too late? I'd say pretty much, yeah. It's time to let her go, move on with your life, and start looking for women who are single, available, and aren't going to act this way, dude. You can't have a relationship with somebody like this. She's a sex playmate, fuck buddy, friends with benefits, and that's it. You're projecting your fantasy on her and ignoring like a whole fucking truckload of red flags, dude. Never call or text her again. If she ever reaches out in the future, assume she wants to see you. Invite her over to your place if you're crazy enough to do that. Make dinner together, hang out, have fun, hook up like I talk about in my book. But I would keep dating other women, even if you do start hooking up with her again. Never take her out, never pick her up. Just treat her like a fuck buddy. That means that she's got to come to you, hang out, have fun, and hook up at your place. And if she says, "How come you never take me out?" just say, "Well, quite frankly, after the way you've treated me in the past, I'm happy to hang out and have fun and hook up with you and enjoy each other. But quite frankly, I want a girl who believes in loyalty, who is trustworthy, and would never do the kinds of things that you've done to me in the past. Because I want to have a healthy relationship, maybe settle down and start a family someday. And quite frankly, you've shown me that that's just not who you are. Your values and your goals are not aligned with that. And that's okay. I still love you the way you are. I'd still love to continue seeing you, but I don't want to be exclusive, and I don't want to be in a relationship with you anymore. And so this is all I can offer you. And if that doesn't work for you, I'll understand. But hey, if you ever change your mind, give me a call. You know how to get in touch with me. And stay congruent with that. Never reach out to her ever again. She doesn't warrant it. She doesn't deserve it. And you'd be crazy to start pursuing her thinking that you're somehow going to be different. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.